Welcome back to Open Channel, the slightly less structured, more stream of consciousness area of the channel. There's something that I've noticed in the videosphere, something that most of us sort of participate in, whether we want to admit it or not, and that's brand tribalism. It's the subtle and sometimes not so subtle sense that the gear we use says something about who we are. And once we've bought into a system, both emotionally and financially, it becomes incredibly tempting to defend that choice with a kind of loyalty, I suppose. So today I wanted to reflect on that a bit, because it's something I've caught myself doing over the years, and something I've seen shape conversations far more than specifications or real-world experience. Camera gear is expensive. Let's start there. It doesn't matter whether you're shooting on Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fuji, Red, Blackmagic. The minute you hand over a four-figure sum for something, there's an emotional investment baked into it. You want it to be good, and you want it to feel like something that you've made the right call on. You want some kind of confirmation that the money wasn't wasted. And because gear is expensive, and because it almost always requires a varying degree of system lock-in, whether it's lenses, batteries, media, or even workflows, we end up with a psychological momentum that pushes us to have to justify the direction we've chosen to go in. Even the most rational of us do this, and it's completely understandable. If you spend thousands of pounds on a camera body and lenses, of course you want that kit to be excellent. Of course you want other people to recognize the value in the kit. And of course you'll feel a pang of something, I suppose, whether that's irritation or defensiveness, but more likely doubt, if someone in real life or online says that a competing system is better. This is where group psychology comes in. Humans are wired for in-group and out-group behaviors. It's tribal and subconscious and extremely ancient. But it plays out in the modern world in all sorts of small ways. It's the reason sports fans will argue endlessly about the teams that they're actually not personally connected to. It's the reason people defend their phone system choices, Apple versus Android. And it's the reason entire comment sections can become battlegrounds between camera users. When you identify with a brand, even superficially, you automatically become part of an in-group. Other people using that brand become familiar, relatable, and people using a different brand become part of an out-group. Even if you like them, and even if you respect their work, there's just a small and often quite imperceptible line drawn. And the funny thing is, none of this has anything to do with image quality or color science or rolling shutter. It's more about identity and belonging and sunk costs. We want to believe we've backed the right horse. I'll say this outright. I've had phases of brand loyalty, and I'm sure you have too. You get comfortable with a certain menu system, a certain lens ecosystem, a type of color pipeline, and suddenly every other brand feels slightly wrong. Not worse necessarily, just unfamiliar. When I moved deeper into the Red ecosystem, for example, it shifted how I looked at everything else. Not intentionally, but subtly. When I work with Sony bodies now, and I've used plenty of them and own a few of them, there's an ease to the experience that my brain quietly categorizes as normal. And anything outside of that can trigger a slight internal comparison. Is this as good? Is this better? Does this justify the cost? And that's the truth of it. We aren't really very able to compare objectively. We compare emotionally first, and the rational comparisons come second. This is where confirmation bias kicks the door in. Once we've bought something, especially something expensive, we subconsciously seek out information that reinforces the view that we made a good choice. We gravitate towards reviews that praise our system, and we're inclined to bristle at criticisms, even when they're valid. We mentally move the goalposts around a little bit when our favourite brand falls short. And it's not because we're irrational, it's because we're invested. If you buy a £3,000 camera and someone says a £1,200 competitor outperforms it in one area, that can be incredibly uncomfortable. It doesn't mean your camera is bad, of course. It just challenges the neat narrative you've constructed about where value lives. So we engage in mutual reassurance. You see it everywhere. In real-world filmmaking, almost none of this matters. On set or on location, brand tribalism evaporates. You use the tool that works, and you solve the problem that's right in front of you. You don't stand around arguing about color science. You light properly, expose correctly, and move on. But online, especially on YouTube, the conversation becomes quite abstract. pretty detached from context. People argue passionately about dynamic range on cameras they've never even held, or autofocus quirks in edge case scenarios they'll never encounter. Because online it's not really about the tool, it's about that identity. And that's one of the things that the ZR launch made very clear. I saw everything from this kills the FX3 to the ZR is dead on arrival, diametrically opposed takes, often from people who hadn't used the camera at all. Some of it was genuine excitement, some of it was genuine criticism, but a surprising amount of it is just brand-anchored worldview. Here's the unglamorous truth that I think I keep circling back to. Every single camera is a compromise in one way or another. Every single camera. The expensive ones, probably more so the expensive ones. You want the red look? Great. You sacrifice boot time, battery life, weight, internal stabilization. You want Sony autofocus and reliability? Perfect. You sacrifice internal RAW and some of that tactile cinema camera feel. You want the Nikon ZR's giant screen? Lovely. You'll be accepting early generation quirks and a much smaller lens ecosystem. No system is complete, and no brand has solved the entire puzzle. Anyone who says otherwise is talking from identity as opposed to experience. Filmmaking is full of uncertainty. Creative work always is. You're constantly navigating taste, skill, budgets, client expectations, weather, luck, timing, and it can get really messy. And so gear is a bit of an anchor, a way to inject a sense of control and sometimes permanence into something that is often quite fundamentally chaotic. It's a small part of the process we actually can control, so we cling to it. And from that clinginess, tribalness grows. I'm trying very consciously in my new role as someone who's communicating about cameras and tech and workflows to stay open and to remember that every system has strengths, to acknowledge that sometimes the best camera for the job is one that isn't mine. And I'm also trying to resist the urge to rationalize every purchase as the correct one. And sometimes you just buy a thing because it's nice, because it sparks something, because it makes you want to go outside and film, which for me, that's more than enough. Not everything has to be part of a manifesto. I should probably tell you what sparked this whole open channel episode. It's off the back of my recent Sony ZV-E1 versus Nikon ZR comparison, which, by the way, I thought was fairly tame. It was a fairly measured look at two cameras that are both good in different ways. And yet a handful of comments arrived that were so energetically defensive of their chosen brand. To be clear, these were the minority, maybe 5%, but they were loud. And what was interesting wasn't the disagreement itself. Disagreement is fine and healthy. It was the tone and almost performative component of it. The sense that camera choice wasn't just a preference, but some kind of moral position, as if acknowledging a weakness in one system amounted to a personal attack on the user. And I'll be honest, every now and then, I wasn't able to help myself and I took the bait. I try not to, I really do, but sometimes a comment arrives so confidently incorrect or delivered with such a strange energy that I feel the irresistible urge just to clap back a little. Nothing aggressive, nothing unkind, but enough to gently point out that reality is often more complicated than brand tribalism allows for. Fortunately, those moments are quite rare, and what reassures me massively were the replies from a core group of viewers whose names I'm actually starting to recognize, people who are showing up regularly on the channel and who comment thoughtfully, who watch with open-hearted curiosity rather than combativeness. People who are level-headed, sensible, and crucially, willing to see the nuance in these things. And it really made me realize that although tribalism exists, most people in this funny little corner of YouTube that I'm slowly carving out simply want to talk about cameras in good faith. And that's been enormously encouraging. So I suppose this episode is me asking a simple question or two. Have you felt the pull of brand tribalism? And if so, how did you deal with it? Did you lean into it? Did you back away from it? Did you not really care? Do you notice yourself defending your choices with a bit too much vigor? And do you feel the sting of pain when someone says their brand or system is better? Do you feel reluctant to admit your system has shortcomings? And also, more importantly, I suppose, have you ever switched from one system or brand to another? And did you learn anything from that? Also, equally important as the entire premise of this episode is, did you snag any fantastic Black Friday bargains? I know I did. Anyone recognizes this? you'll know what it's for, and you'll also know that I'm not known for my automotive content. Maybe that will change. As always, thank you very much for watching. This Monday episode is sort of the interlude thought piece in between my main episodes. The next episode should be out on Thursday, and I'll be reviewing the Typoc Chimera Seas. Once again, I'm Jack. This is Western Approach's Open Channel. If you fancy giving this a subscribe, I'd enormously appreciate it. See you next time.